Welcome to the Natural Health Show with one of New England's leading holistic specialists, Mark Mincola. Call Mark at 617-822-1969 on 96.9 Boston Talks.
Greetings and welcome home, Natural Health Nation. I'm Mark Mincola. I'm here with you, of course, on the Natural Health Show, heard only on 96.9 Boston Talks. Hey, it's great to be with you. It's that magical time of year, of course, where so many folks are getting the sniffles and various sundry illnesses are traveling about these days through the byways and highways. And it's no question about the fact that it's really not an unusual thing to see folks being prescribed antibiotics. Hey, there's a great book that I would like to recommend. It's called Beyond Antibiotics. The subtitle is Healthier Options for Families. Authors Michael Schmidt, Lyndon Smith, and Keith Schennert write that studies show that in the year 2000 alone, just that 1 year, obstetricians wrote 2,645,000 prescriptions for antibiotics per week. Internists wrote 1,426,000 prescriptions for antibiotics per week. And they go on to say that a total of 211,172,000 prescriptions for antibiotics were written annually between obstetricians and internists alone. Amazing stuff. Meanwhile, they go on to report that pediatricians prescribe over $500 million worth of antibiotics per year just for ear infections alone. And, remarkable. We, of course, all know that they are the miracle drug. Antibiotics are extremely important medicines. Thank God we've got them. But as things are progressing, very few folks would argue that they have indeed been overprescribed. Researchers from Brigham and Women's Harvard recently found that when it came to children with sore throats, doctors prescribed antibiotics 53% of the time, far exceeding the actual 15 to 30% prevalence of strep throat. And the ultimate translation here is that between 1.3 and 2.8 million kids are being prescribed antibiotics unnecessarily each year. And, of course, the American Medical Association has generally acknowledged that antibiotics have been overprescribed for viral infections, inaccurately so, because they do nothing to kill a virus. Sore throats that are generally virally triggered, sinus infections, earaches, etc. And I think one of the burning questions is there a price to pay when it comes to this antibiotic overuse? Can it compromise our natural immunity? Of course, we all know the answer to that. To both of those questions, actually. First, we have to understand that your immune system requires your support. You've got good floral bacteria in there that are trying to protect you each and every day. And antibiotics are not smart bombs, as I always tell my folks, that antibiotics will indeed kill. They'll strip the cell walls of bad bacteria, which is exactly what we want them to do. Unfortunately, they will do the very same thing for your protective good bacteria as well. The stuff that keeps you from getting recurrent infections is housed within you. You want to make sure you keep a very healthy population of good floral protective, supportive bacterial armies at the ready within your body. So, there's more to it as well. The antibiotics are not smart bombs. We say they not only destroy bad, but rather good bacteria. They destroy our own protective. And furthermore, every time we use these antibiotics, it weakens our immune system all the more. Thus, the antibiotic merry-go-round that we often see with so many kids each winter is not an uncommon thing because their poor immunities are just ravaged by the frequent use. In their book, the authors graph the incidence of major infections between 1900 and 1973, including measles, scarlet fever, tuberculosis, typhoid fever, influenza, whooping cough, diphtheria, and polio. And the graph makes it visibly clear that all major infection was in decline for several decades before the introduction of antibiotics. And during that same time, the rise of bacterial superstrains has increased exponentially as well. When bacteria are killed by antibiotics. They alter their gene structure in order to resist future attacks by that particular antibiotic strain. So they're adjustable, they're adaptable. Each time you strike a bacteria with an antibiotic, it's going to adjust. And every time we therefore develop new antibiotic strains, the bacteria become better at adaptation. The more we force them to adapt, the more likely they are to become mutant strains. And they mutate in such a way that they produce what are called killer superbug strains. In Europe right now, we talked on this particular broadcast about 4 or 5 months ago, I guess it was, about the NDM strain of bacteria, the superbug, that's demonstrated resistance to over 15 different antibiotics. It's presently ravaging through parts of Europe. And again, 15 different antibiotics have done nothing to kill it. So, we want to make sure we understand that we are creating a very serious issue here with superbugs or super bacteria by recklessly overusing antibiotics, and they're getting good at adapting. They're getting real good at adapting. But anyway, the real key is there are certainly natural solutions. We're going to talk about one really important natural solution, and when we do that, we come back from break. Of course, our telephone number's here. If you have questions on any of these issues or any natural health issues, vitamins, etc., we're here to answer those as well. So whether your questions are on topic, is irrelevant, we're going to continue with that topic, but we're also going to continue, as we do each and every Sunday, with your questions. In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969, Verizon Wireless users, it's just a free call for you all. It's pound 969. We'll be right back from these messages.
Friend us on Facebook. Link up at 969bostontalks.com.
In business, words are words and promises are promises. But only performance is reality. That's why Epson delivers the ultimate in print performance with the Workforce 630 series of all-in-one printers. They print up to 10 pages in 40 seconds. And they deliver the outstanding image quality Epson is known for. Keep your business running at full speed with the Workforce 630 series from Epson. Built to perform.
Find great deals on an Epson Workforce printer at Staples, Best Buy, OfficeMax, and Epson.com.
Hi, this is Catherine from Jarrow Formulas. We can be found on the web at jarrow.com, JARROW.com. Jarrow is a leading manufacturer of dietary supplements. We offer over 300 vitamins, minerals, enzymes, and probiotics. At Jarrow, our mission is to provide superior nutrition and formulation. We team with industry leaders and top academic researchers to bring you quality you can depend on. This is exactly why we have partnered with Mark Mincola. Mark brings cutting-edge science and education to his listeners and clients, and we are proud to be part of his team. We look forward to bringing you more information about specific products over the year with Mark and exciting topics. You can buy Jarrow Formulas at a health food store near you. Find out more about Jarrow at jarrow.com. That's JARROW.com.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. We've survived the holidays, and now it's time to get serious about health and fitness. This year, make good on all those resolutions. Visit Good Health in Quincy or Hanover and ask about our high-performance unisex products from TwinLab. Mass Fuel Extreme will pack on muscle with 600 high-protein, energy-fueled calories. TwinLab's 100% whey fuel delivers 25 grams of protein per serving in an easy-mix, great-tasting formula. Seeking that six-pack? TwinLab's legendary Ripped Fuel stimulates fat loss and preserves muscle. Their Amino Fuel liquid concentrate includes 18 aminos and is packed with protein and B vitamins. At Good Health, you'll find safe and efficient nutrition solutions and knowledgeable resident lifters to help you find that perfect winning regimen. If you can't make it in, we'll ship everything you need right to your door. This year, let us help you stay focused and achieve all your personal goals. Happy New Year, and thanks for listening.
Are you a woman experiencing hair loss? Did you know that you are not alone? Over 40 million women suffer from some form of hair loss in the United States. There is no reason to feel ashamed or alone. At PK Walsh Hair Solutions for Women, we can help. My name is Nikki Walsh, owner of PK Walsh, and I too suffer from hair loss. Together with our team of experts, we have helped thousands of women look and feel good again through state-of-the-art preventative care, laser light hair rejuvenation, strand-to-strand hair augmentation, hair extensions, hair integration, hair additions, and full wigs. If you are one of the millions of women suffering from hair loss, PK Walsh Hair Solutions for Women can help. Call PK Walsh of Needham at 781-444-4414. That number again is 781-444-4414. You can also visit us on the web at www.pkwalsh.com.
Now back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users, pound 96.9. We've got Laura from the Cape. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're on the Natural Health Show.
Hi, I just had a question regarding probiotics that
Sure.
I came across, and I was wondering if you could give me any feedback if you're aware of it, if you know anything about it. It's called 3-Lac.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking it basically, well, I haven't just started taking it, but I was wondering about its safety because I'm a nursing mom, and I'm concerned about the level of candida that I might have entrenched in my body, whether it be systemic or not, and having that yeast die off, and whether if you think, in your opinion, if it's a safe protocol.
Yeah, I think that, first of all, you're talking about so many different cultures that are out there right now. There's so many different products. In fact, there's a lot of information that suggests that we need to, if we're going to use probiotics, change those various floral cultures from time to time, about every 2 months or so. So a lot of folks fall in love with the brand. That's a very good brand that you're talking about, a very good product, I should say. And, I would tell you that the important thing to do, again, is to kind of mix those cultures, to change them up every 2 months or so.
Okay.
That's very, very important. But, the only other thing I would tell you is that cultures come from different sources. And I think there's clearly something to be said for those folks who are sensitive or allergic or intolerant to dairy products who are utilizing like a lactobacillus or something that comes originally from dairy. You may want to look at some other choices there. I think that's an important point as well. Very rarely talked about, but again, if you feel you might have some dairy sensitivities, you might want to be careful about using those dairy cultures.
Okay, because it would probably create a whole lot of sensitivity. Okay,
Indeed.
Thank you very much.
Well, you're very welcome. And one last thing I'd say from the standpoint of diet, it's also really important just to preserve the floral counts that you already have in your system. And you do that by avoiding a lot of the high fermented foods, a lot of the marinated foods, a lot of the vinegars, too much of the yeasted breads, sugar products, things like that. So you cut down on those, and you'll do a much better job at preserving the ratio that you want. You want about a 4-to-1 ratio of good bacteria to bad bacteria in the intestines. Much easier to do when you're avoiding a lot of that fermented food in the diet.
Well, let me ask you one more question
Sure.
before I hop off here. I'm actually dealing with this is what led me to it, with a yeast infection. And that was preceded by a stomach bug, which I'm assuming wiped out all the good bacteria in my gut.
Yeah.
And, just my immune system has been down over the winter. Do you think that this particular protocol is suggesting that do not completely eliminate sugar, as with most candida diets, eliminate it, starve it off, but only to 30 to 40 grams a day of sugar, which is about 10 teaspoons. I thought that was interesting. It's a different perspective than I'd ever heard. Usually it's just avoid sugar at all costs.
Yeah, well, here's the deal. There are many types of sugar, and disaccharides, I say you learn everything you have to learn in the prefix. So stay away from disaccharides.
Okay.
The highly processed sugars have absolutely no rhyme or reason and no purpose for being in a healthy, reasonable dietary plan. To use maybe a little bit of honey that is unheated is another story altogether, because there are enzymes in there. There are actually floral counts within those natural unheated honeys that you actually benefit from as well. So, some of those polysaccharides, different ball games. So I try to stay away from the highly processed sugar. And again, if we actually, ironically, we were talking a little while ago here about the product called Manuka honey, Manuka, and the Manuka honey was actually studied, we talked about that probably 3 months ago or so, at the University of Sydney, where they discovered that it's the only thing that will kill the NDM1 superbug is the 16-plus Manuka honey. Due to its over 1,600 methyl glyoxyl compounds that strip the bacteria of its immune system. Wow. So you can actually get some really great benefit about using that particular type of sugar, but I'd stay away from the simple sugars.
Okay. That sounds great. Well, I thank you for your advice.
You're very welcome. Best wishes. All right, let's see. We've got Kristen on the phone from Uxbridge. Welcome to 96.9 Boston Talks. You're on the Natural Health Show.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Great.
I just have a quick question. My son is going to be 12, and he's been on, soy formula, and now he's drinking soy milk.
Mm-hmm.
But I've been hearing a lot about, the hormones in boys affecting, soy milk affecting the hormones in boys. Should I get him off of it?
Well, here's an interesting switch. In dairy products, we think that the dairy product actually doesn't have this background xenoestrogen problem.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, we get more background estrogens in dairy products than we do in soy products.
Okay.
The most common research that actually took place at Radcliffe University since the year 2006 indicates that we pick up more background estrogens called xenoestrogens and whatnot from dairy products. So, I wouldn't worry so much about the soy. Here's what I would do, though. I would make sure that you really are clear about the fact that your little one is not sensitive to whatever the milk or milk substitute source is that you are giving them. So I always tell folks I think it should be done at least once in a lifetime to do those IgG food allergy tests. And again, we always talk about it on the show, but I'm a real fan of that whole work, and I think it's extremely important to define exactly what your baseline of healthy food is before you go picking up the fruits and veggies and all the great stuff that are out there. We define healthy food, based on a generic approach to, fruits, vegetables, blah, blah, blah. But let's first of all start off by designing our diet off of a baseline that we've had tested. We know for a fact that we're not allergic or sensitive or intolerant to a given food. Hey, now we're at our starting point. So especially so for these little guys that are on different formulas and whatnot. So we just for years automatically assume that, okay, let's get him off the dairy and put him on soy formula. Who knows if he's more sensitive to soy than dairy?
Well, he's 12 now, so he's off of the soy.
Okay,
he's on the soy milk. And I know when he was a baby, he did have the milk allergy, but he's outgrown that.
He's outgrown that. Okay.
He's outgrown that, yep.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I still, again, I would be more concerned about the background estrogens in dairy products than I would be about soy. I think,
like the organic milk?
Yeah, no, there's no question. It's still, you're still dealing with the same things, unfortunately.
Okay.
You're dealing with highly concentrated, we talked about it a couple weeks ago. Actually, we did a program on calcium and dairy and all that business about, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. If you want to get on our website, it's www.maxhealing.com, just one word, and you can archive back about 3 weeks or so, and you'll see that the whole show is on there. We store them both in podcast and in audio as well. So, but we gave the specific numbers and the details about what you're getting, even with organic dairy products, even with organic milks. You're getting, unfortunately, a lot of the same exposures.
Okay.
Sorry to say it.
No, I mean, he prefers the soy milk to regular milk, so that's why.
Yeah, I'd say let it go. When you're talking about the estrogens in soy, we talked about this last week as well, that you're talking about estrogens that are 2,000 times more diluted, versus the estrogens that are in dairy products or animal products in general. So the 1.6 alpha-hydroxyestrones that are in animals are 2,000 times rather stronger than the 2.0 alpha-hydroxyestrones that are in soy.
Wow.
So a lot more concentrated, no worries.
Okay.
In fact, I'd go one further. A lot of the indoles and a lot of the 2.0 alpha-hydroxyestrones actually antagonize and break down a lot of those dangerous estrogens. So I wouldn't worry too much about that. I'd let them enjoy it.
Okay.
All right.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Let's see, 617-822-1969, Verizon Wireless, pound 96.9. Of course, we're here chatting with you about a variety of health issues that you bring on board, but we're also talking thematically this evening about something that I'm very enthusiastic about, especially this time of year, because a lot of folks, of course, are contending with a variety of different bugs that are out there. And I believe really strongly in going the natural route, and there is a really terrific way to do that very thing. I recommend oil of oregano quite frequently, and oil of oregano is something that was actually first used by Hippocrates and Paracelsus. These ancient physicians way back when were the first to find out that indeed it would kill infection. And science now tells us that the mechanism by which oil of oregano kills bacteria is by its pungent fragrance. Yes, indeed, by that horrible smell that makes you smell like a Greek salad when you eat it. But the powerful odor of its antiseptic phenols is said to actually suffocate bacteria. Science has found by placing a halo of fragrance around the bacteria, and the bacteria suffocates. So the stuff that makes you smell like a Greek salad actually suffocates the bacteria that you're trying to do away with. So we're going to talk a little bit more about oil of oregano and some of the remarkable studies that have been done at places like the University of Tennessee and places like Georgetown University, etc. Some remarkable studies about the antibiotic properties of oil of oregano, and we'll do that in just a few moments. Don't forget these phone numbers, 617-822-1969 and pound 969 for Verizon Wireless users. We'll be right back.
Boston Talks, mornings with Jim and Marjorie.
On the next Jim and Marjorie, a new proposal, controversial, that would allow drug dealers to deal drugs closer to schools.
And Chris Collins with a weekend sports wrap and a look ahead to the Patriots list Super Bowl.
Jim and Marjorie, now at their new time. Weekday mornings, 6 till 10 on 96.9 Boston Talks.
You know, when most people hear the word allergies, they think only of hay fever-like symptoms associated with airborne pollen, dust, and mold. But did you know that many experts estimate that between 60 and 80 million of us suffer from immune-related food allergies without even knowing it? Furthermore, food allergies often contribute to serious health problems such as autism, irritable bowel syndrome, ADD, headaches, and chronic ear infections. Now, there's an effective way to identify and eliminate both your food allergies and the troubling symptoms that they aggravate. Allotest Medical Labs at foodallergy.com offers a full complement of clinical, environmental, and food allergy testing to help you get to the root of your allergy problems. Allotest also provides you with a comprehensive rotation diet, lifestyle booklet, and a wallet card to help you live food allergy-free and stress-free. Do you wonder if you or your loved ones are among the 60 to 80 million food allergy sufferers in America? If so, log on to Allotest Medical Labs, foodallergy.com. Talk to your doctor about ordering a food allergy test from Allotest Medical Labs today. Foodallergy.com. Make sure the food you're eating isn't what's depleting you. What is it that you look for a truly unique gala event? Exquisite decor, dramatic lighting, a unique and awe-inspiring entertainment program that will enthrall your guests with memories that will last a lifetime. For all that and so much more, I invite you to call the one and only events planning company that does it all, Barry Productions. Barry Productions has been Boston's leading high-end entertainment and full-service event design firm for more than 35 years. So when it comes to planning your next important event, may I suggest you call my good friend Diane Barry at 781-331-2224. That's 781-331-2224. Or check her out on the World Wide Web at barryproductions.com. When it comes to planning your special events, I assure you this will be the last call you'll ever have to make. Barry Productions, Boston's leading high-end entertainment and full-service event design.
Hi, this is Laura from Good Health. We've survived the holidays, and now it's time to get serious about health and fitness. This year, make good on all those resolutions. Visit Good Health in Quinns, Hanover, and ask about our high-performance unisex products from TwinLab. Mass Fuel Extreme will pack on muscle with 600 high-protein, energy-fueled calories. TwinLab's 100% whey fuel delivers 25 grams of protein per serving in an easy-mix, great-tasting formula. Seeking that six-pack? TwinLab's legendary Ripped Fuel stimulates fat loss and preserves muscle. Their Amino Fuel liquid concentrate includes 18 aminos and is packed with protein and B vitamins. At Good Health, you'll find safe and efficient nutrition solutions and knowledgeable resident lifters to help you find that perfect winning regimen. If you can't make it in, we'll ship everything you need right to your door. This year, let us help you stay focused and achieve all your personal goals. Happy New Year, and thanks for listening.
Hey, Nick. Lots of homeowners ask me, why Nupro?
Dad, I get that all the time.
We've been in business since 1945, and no other family has made and installed more windows in New England than Nupro.
That means peace of mind, and we know windows.
And we've seen hundreds of window companies come and go, right?
Yes, Dad.
There's a reason why more New Englanders choose Nupro over anyone else.
Let's read what some of our Nupro neighbors have to say. We lowered our heating costs and no more outside noise. I can't say enough about the installation team. They were fantastic.
Nice work, Nick. We've saved thousands of homeowners more money on home energy costs than anyone else. Let's keep it going through the cold winter months. Why NuPro? Call now and receive 10% off every NuPro window. Plus, we'll give you a free iPad with a house full of windows.
And our craftsmen install all winter long, so no need to wait till spring.
You're going to feel good with NuPro. We guarantee it.
That's why I tell my friends to call 1-800-GO-NUPRO.
Visit NuPro.com.
Now, back to the Natural Health Show, sponsored by Good Health Natural Foods in Quincy and Hanover.
In Boston and New England, 617-822-1969. Verizon Wireless users pound 969. Of course, I'm here to take your questions regarding natural health, vitamins, natural diet, etc., etc. That's what we're here for. But also, we're here to share some information I think is pretty important stuff. These two studies are a 2008 study of 3 million people published in the International Journal of Cancer found that those who used the most versus the least antibiotics had a 37% greater risk of being diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. In 2004, National Cancer Institute study published in the Journal of American Medicine found that the rate of breast cancer doubled among women who took more than 25 prescription of antibiotics over a 2-year period. And that was a 17-year study. And by the way, there's more of those folks out there than you may think. It sounds like a lot, a dozen antibiotic prescriptions per year. There is more of that happening than you could ever imagine. So not so unusual. And again, we talked before we just took that last little breather about oil of oregano. I just want to sneak this in before we get back to your calls here. That in 1977, French physician Dr. André Blaiche found that oil of oregano was effective against over 90 different strains of pathogenic bacteria collected from sick human patients. These weren't just test tube studies. Amazing stuff. In 2001, Dr. Ann Drotton from the Department of Food Science at the University of Tennessee discovered oil of oregano effective against Staph E. coli, Listeria, Yersinia, Pseudomonas, Aspergillus niger, Geotrichum, and Rhodotorula. So that was done at the Department of Food Sciences, University of Tennessee. 2001, also professor of the Department of Medicine and Pathology at Georgetown University, Dr. Harry Preuss, showed in animal studies that the oil of oregano killed staph infection as effectively as vancomycin, streptomycin, penicillin without side effects. Let's go to your calls. David from Maine, welcome to 96.9 Boston Talk Show and the Natural Health Show.
Thanks for taking my call.
My pleasure.
What I had a question about was Candida diets. I'm pretty sure I've had a systemic Candida infection for the last 8 years.
Yep.
I've tried different diets, probiotics. One thing I found about a lot of the specific diets was that they wanted you to buy their supplements and stuff. And I was wondering if you were aware of one that, didn't involve all the expense of their buying their supplements to follow their plan, if there was something pretty straightforward besides cutting back on eliminating sugar, alcohol, wheat products.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I think the Yeast Connection is probably as good a book as you're going to find. It's probably the oldest of the bunch, as I can recall back, released in the 80s. And I'm trying to think of the authors, and I can't think of his name, but I'll come up with that in a minute. But The Yeast Connection is the book you want to look for. And it's very, very simple in its recommendations, but I think pretty straight ahead, pretty effective. And, of course, you can hear that I'm enthusiastic about oil of oregano.
Yes, and I've actually tried that before, on and off, with mixed results.
Well, you got to make sure that you're taking one that's about 85% oil of oregano.
Okay.
And many of them out there are as little as 25%. So you really got to do your shopping and make sure that you're taking a concentrated wild form of oil of oregano that's at least 75 to 85% oil of oregano. The rest, by the way, is oil-based, like olive oil, for example. And a lot of folks may be surprised to hear that it's actually more effective and more potent. A lot of the studies indicate that when you take a phenol like that, an essence oil that has these very powerful antiseptic phenols in there, that they're actually better distributed and they're better tolerated, better absorbed by the body when they have a medium. So you do want a little bit of food-grade oil in there, no question about it, but you don't want it to be so concentrated in ratio that you actually outpower the potential of your medicine here. So you don't want to drown your medicine in oil, so to speak. And you want to look for something that's 75 to 85% oil of oregano. You also want to take a fairly hefty dose. A lot of the indications on the side of the bottles will call for anywhere from 2 to 6 drops, 3 times a day. I'd say there's no way you're going to get to a very serious acute or chronic yeast overgrowth such as you're mentioning here. So you're probably going to have to do something like 15 drops 2 to 3 times a day for about a good month or so anyway before you see results.
Orally?
One other thing that I'd recommend too, if you want to give it some thought, I think grapefruit seed extract is really important. Get the drops. Grapefruit, like from Florida, grapefruit seed extract drops.
Okay.
And I would